Yes, and this is the 22nd of May, 2009. The Canadian Human Rights Tribunal and the various provinces with their human rights commissions and tribunals have made it possible to appoint individuals to judge and prohibit the speech of many people who happen to, on occasion, offend the sensitivities of a group identified by race, religion, or ethnic origin, as you may have heard a number of times from a number of people. The worst case that I'm aware of is that of Brad Love, who has been put in jail for writing letters to members of Parliament in which he addresses the issues of immigration and cultural diversity. But that was under the criminal code, and he actually pled guilty under advice from some lawyer, whereby he was ultimately given almost the maximum penalty in jail. And he continues to be put in jail and arrested simply because he continues to write letters about various subjects in breach of a prohibition order. So he's been effectively made into a banned person in Canada. And those of you around the world who don't understand what's going on in Canada, watch out, because it's coming to a theater near you. The governments of the world want to silence dissent on their preciously held beliefs about multiculturalism and all the integration processes to eliminate the traditional cultures of various countries. But the more insidious form of that process is undertaken by human rights commissions, and there is now a little hope, at least in Canada. I had the privilege to meet the author of this book, Ezra Levant. I met him today for the second time, and I was very impressed with his speech about Canadian human rights tribunals and the Alberta Human Rights Commission in particular. And you may think that the title is upside down, and it is actually. The title is called Shakedown, so the title is printed upside down. The name Ezra Levant, which you should be able to read just under my chin, is very clear, and he is a very brave and very articulate spokesman for freedom. He is a lawyer who has been brought before the Alberta Human Rights Commission for publishing the Mohammed cartoons. And as a result of his experience, he became interested in the whole subject of human rights commissions and realized, as many of us have, that they are designed to silence dissent on controversial issues. What originally was done to avoid the public becoming alarmed was they attacked just very unpopular people, Nazis, skinheads, neo-Nazi skinheads, people who were racist, people who could be easily categorized as unpopular, offensive, generally though not because they were well known, but because they were unknown. They can be vilified because they're unknown, because it's easy to hate someone you don't know. I became the defender of these people when I started this process in about 1986 or 7 with John Ross Taylor, which went to the Supreme Court of Canada, and later with Malcolm Ross, and later on with James Keegstra and Ernst Zundel and others, who were basically prosecuted under this legislation where truth is no defense, even if you say the truth. Well, the great thing about Ezra Levant in this book is that they now took on somebody who has some friends, who is visible, who is articulate, and who is well connected, and also, of course, who is Jewish. And he can't be easily categorized as an anti-Semite and dismissed, as so many others have been. The important thing is that now they may, and I say may because it depends on what you do, they may have bitten off more than they could chew. And if you buy this book and read it, you will begin to become aware of what's going on, and I urge you to do that. Buy Ezra Levant's book called Shakedown and help him to fight this tyrannical government officialdom that is stifling free speech in Canada and will do so around the world. So don't think this is just about Canada, that little backward country with their socialist government. It's about all the oppressive governments of the world who have one thing in common: they want to silence dissent. They want to eliminate those that don't agree with them. And that process is going on everywhere in the world, from Burma to New York City. So, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to consider buying this book and looking up Ezra Levant and all his struggles on the internet. It's easy to find. It's EZRALEVANT. If you can't read it, that's how you spell it. And if you Google his name, I'm sure you'll find out the whole story, and you'll even see on YouTube this this bureaucrat, like so many other faceless bureaucrats. She became a face because he videotaped her interrogation of him, and of course 700,000 people have watched that YouTube video. You could too if you haven't seen it already, and it will help you to understand what we're fighting here in Canada for your freedom and mine, for the benefit of our ancestors, for the benefit of our descendants, so that freedom may endure. And that's another good reason why we have to free the West. And particularly those of us who see this video might do something about it. Thanks.